So the lecture I attended was "When Will We Find ET and What Happens If We Do?" and this was presented by Seth Shostak. So while listening to the lecture, the main ideas of the lecture, from what I could gather, was discussing the ongoing hunt for intelligent life, what these beings would look like, and if we found ET, what would the social implications of this knowledge be? And so, while listening to the lecture, I couldn't help but agree with the professor, particularly around the social implications of discovering intelligent ET life. And so, after really evaluating the main points, the discussion around the hunt for ET focused around the detection of signals from space, but I did not find that discussion particularly interesting, just based upon the type of field that I study. But I did find a lot of interest in the discussion about what they would look like and the social implications around that knowledge. So, talking about what these beings would look like, in human neuroscience, we hold a lot of value in the human face because of the perception of emotion we perceive from it, as well as social learning we can gather from facial movements, structure, and everything else we can base and create a script for our world. So, if the proverbial ET did not meet this concept, what does that really allow humans to think about and be able to pull from that form? And so another way of thinking about this is that in movie depiction, ETs have always been a humanoid form, although altered to look very different from us as a race. It is a drastic understatement, I believe, of what's possible with cellular structure. And so a lot of this is a concern because we do not know if this race would be of a humanoid design. And so if they didn't fit our concept, what does that mean for us in being able to actually interpret them as a new race? And then with the social implications associated with having a new race that is outside to our own. When you think about it, that is both scary and very intriguing because, one, the ability to contact humans through a signal pathway that we actually recognize and utilize is both huge amounts of information in both a positive and a negative, because if this is a form of technology that is being utilized for a methodology that we don't currently utilize it, then that's great for us in terms of knowledge, but it also begs the question of what does this race now have technologically that we do not have, because that's very scary. Now, the intriguing portion is the fact that this exponentially would increase our knowledge base about the universe, especially as we as humans have a very, very limited scope of being able to look at the universe, and we have a general idea of that, how big it is, which we know it's also rapidly expanding. And so finding another intelligent life form that is different than our own to expand that knowledge base is tremendous to science. Now, the concept of even science may be something that is primitive, actually, because although everything roots back to philosophy, it's still just a basis of thinking about the universe. And so if we find a race that doesn't think of the concept of science as science, how they interpret it, and how does that affect our interpretation is another thought about it.